So day 49. Excuse me. Game stage is 127 now. I just fixed up the few little pieces. I did forget to dig this out before the horde night. I was busy doing other things. Again, still wood on the exterior, flagstone, edge wedge, or not edge wedge, arrow slit blocks for the zombie force field. Outer wall is still just flagstone, not upgraded at all. Reinforced concrete, that's just structural support for the interior walls. And all I did was repair the traps, fill all the dart traps. They are now all fully maxed out at 1500 darts per. Again, other side is just a complete mirror image. So as you can see, we've got the dart traps facing outward, covering the blade trap, and then interior we have the blade trap covering both of these dart traps, all wired in through motion sensors on their each one. Interior we have two lines of electric fences wired into the motion sensors right here. So each one has a block, so it doesn't really matter which one. And then dart traps overhead. I installed the lights after the last horde night. There's one at each quadrant, so it gives you a nice big glow. Haven't really changed anything up there. Repaired all the blade traps down here. Alright, so let's get up into the bird's nest. So again, down here, just wood on top of just the reinforced concrete. This is for structural support for these columns right here because they don't have anything underneath them holding them up. Again, hatch here just to protect the solar panels so that no cop spit or anything hits them. Let's go ahead and get the recharging units turned off. And as you can see, fully charged, 286 watts, 218 here. This is the one that just runs the interior defenses, so it doesn't require as much. And then 286 here as well, fully charged. And I'm just going to grab some food really quick, just to top myself off. Alright, grab the Molotovs. Shouldn't really need any other ammo. Just going to top myself off here. And then go ahead and get that one hit point back. And just get rid of those. I was just doing some cleaning around the base. Alright. So, as you can see, I was considering bringing this wedge tip all the way up to the 2-block high, but there's really no point to it. It blocks everything that it's required to do, which is to prevent them from seeing or hitting on the electrical components. Again, junk turret's just up here for bird control. So I'm going to go back down. And now, because of these lights, now we've got some extra lights or extra wires kind of coming in the way just for visual, but whatever, no big deal. Alright, so pretty much nothing's changed. There was only very minimal repair work to be done after the last horde night, but as you can see, all the dart traps are completely full now, and if you noticed in my chest up top, I've got about 5 more stacks of darts already prepped for after this horde night. I did go ahead and increase the spawn from 8 to 16, just to make things a bit more difficult, or as I dare say, just give me more experience from sitting here doing nothing. Get my lucky looter goggles on. Alright, let's just go ahead and we'll just throw you right there for right now. Don't expect to be using that at all. Alright. So this time I am not going to forget to turn on the defenses before horde night. I hope. We'll see. So as I was saying last time, this base design is set up pretty well. For single player, most definitely. For multiplayer, I've been considering it, and the previous structure that I built is definitely one that you want to use for multiplayer. But what I was considering doing is changing the base design so that each wing follows this setup instead of the previous setup. So that'll cut down on 2 blade traps on the interior, and it'll route the zombies more into a specific area, so it'll also cut down the number of blade traps that you have to use. Or not blade traps, I'm sorry, dart traps. Um, so, like, stocking these, like when you first get set up, if you want to max everything out, yes, it's quite the resource cost to get going, but once you're set up, it's not a big deal to keep them fed and fully maxed. Right now, back at my base, I've got about 11 stacks of iron just sitting there waiting to be smelted down, and I've got about 20 stacks of clay. So, steel, forged iron, and darts aren't really an issue for me anymore. Alright, let's just go ahead and get the defenses turned on now, just so I don't forget again. So let me turn my light off, and then as you can see, these industrial lights actually do quite a bit. Like, the only thing that I've thought about is adding a light back there, just so I can see down the hallway. But when I turn my headlight lamp on, it's not a big deal, and there's really no need for it. And then if I switch to my flame mod, as you can see, it lights it up quite well as well, so there's really no point to it anymore. Alright, so let's just go up top really quick and just kind of take a look. Yep, so as you can see, 5, almost 6 full stacks of darts prepped for after tonight. Just all the extra concrete that I haven't bothered to use yet, my rebar, metal trussings. These were just the supplies I had left over from building this structure. I have quite a bit more concrete back at the base, and I just stocked up 400 forged steel after the last horde night, and then used 35 to repair the blade traps and the little around. I did make one little mistake, and I believe it was over on this side. It's either that corner or that corner. I was repairing it and I accidentally upgraded it to steel. Like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. So one thing I forgot is, as you can see there, I finished knocking out the concrete wall in the corner there. I knocked down some of the metal fencing over there, just to allow them to jump over it easily. And I had noticed they had already knocked out some of the wooden fence over there to jump over. And then over here, as long as they spawn it in those bungalows there, they can just run straight through. I did notice last horde night there were a couple spawning inside there. They will just easily beat down that metal fence right there. It's only 300 hit points, and then they can jump over, or they can just run to the edge and around. Not really a big deal. So yeah, left my Jeep over there, a bit closer than last time, but well outside the spawning range. Thought I heard something there for a moment. Alright, so let's get down into the bird's nest. Close up the hatch. Do that again. Alright. So now we just get to sit here and wait. So it'll be interesting to see what spawns. I'm expecting cops for sure. Radiated. I saw radiated last time, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I'm seeing a lot of radiated in my single player, so I should be surprised. I'm kind of hoping we get a demolisher. I just kind of want to see if they can make it all the way to the interior base and how long they last. But with the game stage of only 127, I'm not really expecting one yet. So we'll see. And here we go. Alright, I am hearing some. sounds like they're running around the perimeter right now. And there go the dart traps. Yeah, looks like they're coming in from this side over here. Yep. Alright, so we got a white already. Didn't even make it to the fence trap before he died. That's what I like to see. Oh, hearing some dogs. So this time, since I doubled the spawn rate, I'm expecting the outside traps to actually blow through at least a full stack. Probably 2, depending on how they come in. Oh, we got our first radiated. Nice. Alright. Still got nothing over on this side, so they're all still spawning from this direction. So again, the nice thing about this new setup is it puts minimal pressure on the blade traps and puts more of the damage done with the darts. So it does help considerably in your repair costs. But as I mentioned earlier, it does increase your overall costs because the darts, whatever. After losing a couple blade traps in the other design with having no support, I feel that it's a much better trade-off to do it this way. Because you can just sit here and... Wow, he actually made it into the fencing. That's kind of a surprise. But yeah, it's much easier to just, queue up some darts and allow them to do a lot of the extra work, instead of relying just solely on the blade traps to do all the damage. Alright. Let's take a look here. What was I gonna do? Was it boomstick? Getting my machine gunner up would be nice. Alright, so it looks like we're getting several radiated at a time now. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to use the pathing trick. And we're just going to stand over here on this other side. And that way that'll prevent them from trying to beat on the structure or trying to hit the blade traps. Alright, let's go back. Alright. That's all good. I don't need that. I was thinking about doing parkour, maybe hidden strike, because it is nice to be able to get that extra 50% sneak damage. Such a hard choice. Although I will say it would be nice to have Penetrator number 2. Screw it, we're gonna go with Fortitude level 2. Oh, looks like we finally got some spawning on this side. Majority of them still sound like they're coming in over here, though. Yep. Alright. Oh, another loot bag just dropped. Nice. so we're getting whites and radiated pretty regularly. Haven't even heard a cop yet. Kind of surprised. I won't be so. I just heard one. There you go. Those dart traps really are doing quite a number on them as they pass through there. Oh, we got some dogs, some radiated coming from this side now. Speaking of dogs. Alright, so we still haven't had a cop make it to the interior yet. Kind of surprising. Quite a few whites, some radiated. Alright, yep. So it looks like they're coming in from both angles now. So which means they're probably spawning right over here, and some are pathing this way and the others are pathing that way. Ooh, the one thing I forgot was to check the damage on those fence posts. Well, if they keep coming from the same angles, I have a feeling some of these dart traps might actually run out. The bodies are just piling up nice and neat. Quite a few radiated spider monkeys. Right in a row too, I might add. Ugh. Still surprised we haven't seen a cop make it to the interior yet. Seen some whites, some big mamas. Not a single cop to the interior yet. So one of the nice things about this setup is the way I wired up the motion sensors. So even as they're coming down here, they get hit by this motion sensor that turns on the fence. They'll still be getting shot from the dart traps by that motion sensor back there because of the way I pointed it. And then if any of them do make it to the second fence post before it turns on, then they get caught by the overhead dart traps. So again, I'm pretty much covered either way. Yeah, they are completely overloading this side. like to see more of them spawning over here. Yep, hardly as many things made it over on the west side. Oh, pretty much everything's been coming from the east side tonight. Alright, sounds like we've got a new spawn point over here now to the north. Let's see how it goes now. Alright, perfect. Sounds like they are now all pathing over to this side. Oh, there's our first cop. And he didn't make it. Was that a soldier zombie? Looks like it was. Yep. Alright, so we're pretty much seeing everything except for demolishers now. Up, up, up! Oh, he fell into the inner area. He didn't actually make it, though. It was a good try. Alright, Radiated Big Mama. She falls before getting inward. I am loving that. I'd say 5% of the zombies so far tonight have made it past that blade trap right there. Oh, he's a runner. Oh, he actually made it into the dart trap before it killed him. Nice. So again, with this type of design and the way the AI pathing works, really the only thing you need to reinforce are the hallways that they're coming through. You don't have to do steel reinforced or even concrete on any of these walls over here because of the way the pathing algorithm works. Since they see all this as terrain because none of this is connected to this. Because of that, the AI pathing doesn't see this as a valid tunneling as long as they see an open air path, which that's what the blade traps and the dart traps provide. So by just doing this simple setup where you create a structure within a structure, the AI doesn't see the outer structure as the structure itself, so the zombies will not beat on it as long as they have an open path to get to you. So as long as you don't touch this outside structure for any reason, you can actually just use cobblestone or flagstone to do everything except for the interior hallways. Now, technically speaking, you could use flagstone for these hallways because they will not beat on them for any reason. Now, the demolishers and whatnots may get a wild swing, and if for some reason you get unlucky enough that a cop explodes before getting the kill damage, that is the reason why I use the steel reinforced concrete. The reason I do steel reinforced versus regular concrete is just ease of use. Since you're having to mine iron and stone for the concrete and darts and blade traps, so you're forged steel, forged iron, there's no reason not to just go straight to metal rebar and then steel reinforced concrete. The steel reinforced gives you building block just like the wooden frames, and then jumps you straight up to steel reinforced, which also gives you structural support. And it's just faster. Now I do know doing wet concrete and putting it down, letting it dry, and then upgrading it is technically cheaper, but for just time, ease of use, there's no reason to waste all that time to make concrete, put it back in the mixer, and make wet concrete when you can just get the concrete, have iron rebar smelting in the forge, and then just skip straight to steel reinforced concrete. It just makes things a lot easier and faster and a lot less time in the recipes and forging carriers. Alright, and I totally forgot to yep. Alright. Well, so this Horde Night's over with here in about 8 minutes. I'll go up and grab my nail gun and we'll take a look and see what the damage is. Alright, so interior blades, dart traps, barely fired. Alright. I don't hear any more running, so we're going to go ahead and shut off all the defenses. Alright, let's take a look outside here. Let's get the nail gun. Alright, so again, 1.5 batteries, not a big deal. Go ahead and turn our rechargers back on. And this I forgot to check, so maybe 40% of a single battery on the interior defenses with lights, so not a big deal at all. Alright, so as you can see, none of this structure took any damage whatsoever. Alright, so again, they caught up on the edge here, so that's something I have to fix. And then them swinging as they pile up. So this is from when they all come right here, they get stuck for a moment. When they start piling up, they'll beat on the structure a little bit. That's just normal AI pathing. So that blade trap is down. Alright, so 1 stack there, half a stack. That one's still good. Almost full stack. Almost full stack, half stack, almost full stack. That's pretty close to being out. That one's pretty close to death. So those are all good. Why are these not... Oh, there we go. Alright, so that's still good. Can I get the angle on this? Nope. Alright. Alright, so that one's good. So those are all still good. Alright, so just a little bit of damage there. That one's almost toast. Can we get the angle on this, please? Yeah, whatever. Alright, so stack and a half. Stack and a half, almost, jeez. Alright, so about a stack each. Can we... apparently I'm bugged again. Alright, whatever. Alright, well, so as you can see, very little damage taken, and this I can fix just by increasing the block out here and getting rid of this dirt. And then I can do just metal plates right here just to cover this up so they don't get caught on it as much. But yeah, there you go. So Blood Moon count 16 instead of 8. And yep, very little damage. So we'll talk to you guys later.